Hey folks, Tito, Jeff Thitoff here. Follow me on Twitter at @ThatHappens. It's the Black and Gold Blitz. And now the season is over. At least, kind of. The NFL season ends with Seattle's victory over New England in the Super Bowl, 29-13 there. And I don't know your thoughts on the Super Bowl, but for me, it felt like very early on, and by early on, I mean like second quarter, that New England had no chance in this game. This was going to be Seattle's game to win, and I really thought that New England had no chance at all, unless they would get some kind of fluke play, which I guess was still in play for a while. But Seattle's defense was just way too dominant. Some people call the Super Bowl boring. It wasn't exciting, I'll put it that way, but lots of good defense played by Seattle. Congratulations to them. And by the way, 2 weeks from now, or whenever you listen to this podcast, I guess February 23rd is the start of the NFL Combine. So that's not much of an offseason until we start. So we'll have Combine, we'll have free agency, we'll have the draft. It all starts up again. Football is year-round. And the Steelers, we know they hired Mike McCarthy to be the head coach, and he has talked about wanting Aaron Rodgers back. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But it feels to me like Mike McCarthy now is doing a lot of what Aaron Rodgers did when he got to the Jets. He's like trying to round up some of the old gang, the guys he was comfortable with. Brian Angelichio is now the new offensive coordinator that was hired by the Steelers. He was a passing game coordinator and tight ends coach for the Vikings, and he used to work with Mike McCarthy from 16 to 18, 2016, 2018, when he was a tight ends coach there. And so he ended up getting the job. McCarthy says he can call the offensive plays, but nonetheless, Angelichio is at 53 years old, who's also been with the Browns, don't hold it against him, the Panthers, Commanders, and Buccaneers. And so McCarthy gets somebody he's comfortable with, somebody, much like Aaron Rodgers, there's receivers, somebody he knows. And back in 2016, when he was with the team, he wasn't the OC. I'm just saying he was part of the offense, though. But in 16, when he was with the Packers, again, tight ends coach, not OC. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to put that on. But Rodgers threw for 4,400 yards, 40 touchdowns. They were fourth in the NFL in points a game, and they had big-time receivers in Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson. Not much of a running game with Ty Montgomery, but they were a top offense in the NFL. 2017, Rodgers got hurt, only played 7 games for the season, and it's when he broke his right collarbone, I believe. And so that team was 7-9. Brett Hundley was part of that team, who was not good. 1,800 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And just it was a team that did not do well. But because you have Aaron Rodgers at 18, the offense was 12th in total yards, 14th in points scored. They went 6-9-1. Rodgers had a good season again, 4,442 yards, 25 touchdowns, 2 picks. Devontae Adams had almost 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns. So he's had experience with working on a staff that had Rodgers as quarterback. Let's put it that way. Wasn't the quarterback's coach, tight ends coach, but still, nonetheless, Sonny McCarthy believes in enough, and so McCarthy is bringing him on to be the OC for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What about the quarterback situation? We've talked before. Will Aaron Rodgers come back at 42? If he doesn't, what do the Steelers do? There's some veteran options maybe out there, or it's not going to be, it can't be the draft this year. Not where they're picking. I know that Ty Simpson is the likely number 2 quarterback in the draft. Kid from Alabama's got a lot of promise, but I don't think that they will go that route. I think someone will jump them and get Ty Simpson, or somebody just in front of him will take Ty Simpson before it gets the Steelers anyway. But I don't think I would spend a first-round pick on this. If you find out that Rodgers is not coming back, I would much rather go the veteran route or give an opportunity to see if you still have to get a veteran anyway, but I'd like to see what Will Howard can do. I know Ben Roethlisberger singing the praises of Will Howard, so we'll see what they do. But one option will be Kirk Cousins. The Falcons have reworked his contract. It's the final year of it now. He could get released, and that's somebody the Steelers could go after. Another one that's been bantered about is Mac Jones, the backup quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers have said they don't want to get rid of Mac Jones. They like him too much. He's looked good when he's played for them, and Brock Purdy is not injury prone. Injury proof. I'm sorry, he's injury prone, I should say. Is probably the better way to put it. Tyler Sullivan of CBS Sports said that he thinks that if the Steelers want Mac Jones, it would cost them a 3rd-round pick. So Jones, and this is what Sullivan had in his article for CBS Sports, he's only 27 years old. His cap hits just a little over $3 million for 2026. So we saw what Daniel Jones did in Indianapolis when he got kind of a rebirth situation where he could start fresh, if you will. It had great results there until he had the bad injury at the end of the season. Mac Jones, same like Sam Darnold, a reclamation project, a bust at one point, considered a bust at one point, but then gets with the right coach in San Francisco, gets with Shanahan, and it turns things around for them. So that's an option for the Steelers as well. Those are the two I'm really looking at. I've seen, Tua, no. I've seen Kyler Murray, no. If you can get Jones, or if you can get either Jones or Kirk Cousins, if it's not going to be, Aaron Rodgers, I'm okay with that. So the other news too, the Steelers are they've hired former Commanders defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. He's going to be the secondary coach and assistant head coach for Mike McCarthy this year. All right. Another thing I want to get into is the Hall of Fame happened. Hall of Fame ceremony, Hall of Fame induction, or Hall of Famers for 2026 were announced. There, I'll spit it out eventually. We already know that Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft did not get in. And now we do know that Drew Brees is in, Larry Fitzgerald, Larry Kuechly's in, Adam Vinatieri, and then from the Veterans Committee, Roger Craig gets in as well, from the special committee that did not want Kraft or want Bill Belichick in. And coming up, though, next year, Ben Roethlisberger's up for that. And I don't know if he'll get in on the first ballot. It's interesting, the NFL, the way they've got it set up and the way that they do this, it's difficult to get in. And there's a backlog of really qualified people that aren't in, that have to get in before the new people get in, Roethlisberger being one of them. So Roethlisberger, he'll get in. I don't know about first ballot. He does have the record for most 500-yard passing games, NFL history. He's got 4 of those. 2-time Super Bowl champion, obviously. Over 64,000 yards, 9th in touchdown passes. And so he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's just a question of first ballot. Other ones that are up for it next year. Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had a stretch where he was the best receiver in football. But I think he'll get the Tito treatment, and maybe even worse than that. Tito got held out for a while, finally got in, and then didn't go to the ceremony, did like his own kind of thing, acceptance speech. Tio stopped being crazy at some point. Brown has not stopped being crazy. And there's these other charges that have come up since he's retired. I don't think Brown gets in, certainly not next year. If he does, it will be a long time before he gets in. Another former Steeler who's going to be up for it, Le'Veon Bell. He won't get in. Don't worry. He's just one of the guys you'd have to consider like somebody's going to be on the ballot. He was a great running back for a while. He made some bad choices about his contract with the Steelers. And it's amazing. He's one of those guys, just like so many other Steelers, that when either the Steelers get rid of you or you leave, you don't get better. George Pickens, an exception in this one. George Pickens with the Cowboys now. But you look at, Brown went downhill. Bell went downhill. Plaxico Burress went downhill. Guys, when they leave Pittsburgh, it's not the same. Le'Veon is a true example of that. So, okay, that's it for your Black and Gold Blitz. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. Follow me on Twitter, @ThitHappens, and we'll talk again soon, folks. Like I said, NFL never stops. This has been Black and Gold Daily Blitz on FanStream Sports.